Can I still buy a house in 2026? Yes, you can still buy your house in 2026 and or refinance a house if you already own one. But there's some things I think that's very important that people should know. A lot of people don't know. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Salandia Hammond, and I help people buy and refinance houses. And I'm taking clients in 2026. Listen, a lot of people think that the only money needed to buy a house is just a down payment. And so that's why they always ask, do you have any down payment assistance programs? Yes, there are many down payment assistance programs, but there are some things that are tied to those down payment assistance programs that a lot of people don't share with you. And I'm real big as a mortgage broker on educating people so they know what they're getting themselves into. But there are other costs associated with getting a house. And if it's a VA loan or if it's a USDA loan, you don't even have to worry about a down payment. But with every freaking loan, there are closing costs. And a lot of people neglect that. They just say, hey, I got the money for my down payment, and they think that's it. But even before we get to down payment, even before we get to closing costs, there's money that you're going to need beforehand. Because when you connect with the realtor and you find the house that you love, you're going to sign a contract, put an offer in, and you're going to put down earnest money deposit. And what that is doing is showing the seller that you are serious about buying this house. Now, I'm in the state of South Carolina. And in the state of South Carolina, the average earnest money deposit is $1,000. So you're going to have to need that up front. You're also going to need the appraisal fee because the bank has to send somebody out to determine the value of the home before they loan you this money. The average in the state of South Carolina, $600. You also want to have I'm looking at my nose. Oh, I got something on my nose. I'm sorry about that, y'all. It is what it is. It's real. You also got to have, make sure you have an inspection done, a home inspection. I don't care if it's a brand new house. You have an inspection done, old house, new house. Don't matter. Get an inspection done. In the state of South Carolina, the average inspection is going to be about $400. And you want to have a pest inspection done because you want to make sure that no termites, no bugs, no wood rot. And that typically ranges from anywhere between $75 to $200. Now, what I just told you, that's money before you even go further into the loan. This is money that you need. So when you hear people saying, oh, you don't need any money to buy a home, do not believe the lies. It's not true because you need the earnest money deposit, appraisal, inspections. Okay, that's important. Now, let's get into down payment. If you qualify for an FHA loan, does not mean first-time home buyers. Anybody can qualify for an FHA loan if they meet the criteria. But if you qualify for an FHA loan, it's 3.5% down. If it's a conventional loan, you can go as low as 3% down. VA loans, 0% down. USDA loans, 0% down. All right, that's just a down payment. And that's 3.5% for FHA loan of the purchase price. 3% for conventional loans of the purchase price. So let's use easy numbers. If we're talking $100,000 at 3.5% down, that's $3,500 for the down payment. But it doesn't stop there. Remember, there are closing costs. Yes, there are programs to help you with down payment assistance, right? But there are closing costs associated with every loan. And typically in the state of South Carolina, closing costs range between 3 to 6% of the purchase price. But here's the great thing. A lot of people don't know about this. Most people want to go in and just ask the sellers, please lower the price, please lower the price. But don't do that. Instead of asking the sellers to lower the price, ask the sellers to contribute towards your closing costs. On an FHA loan, they can contribute up to 6%. Okay? So ask them to contribute towards your closing costs. And if they do that, now, not only will they help with paying the closing costs, and let me tell you what closing costs generally consist of, right? It's any fees associated with closing that loan, getting you to the closing table, right? That means lender fees, origination fees, that means attorney fees, that means a title fee, title search fee, escrows, collecting, having you pay insurance and taxes up front. Anything associated with getting that loan closed, getting it recorded at the courthouse, the title and the deed, all of that recorded, those are closing costs. So asking the seller to contribute to that can limit the amount of money that you have to come out of pocket. But not only that, you may get enough in closing costs to where you can buy down your interest rate. Now, why is that important? Because if you buy down your interest rate, right? Now your monthly payment for your mortgage is reduced for the life of the loan unless you refinance the loan. It's going to be reduced. So it's more important to buy down the interest rate permanently than it is to try to ask the seller to reduce the sales price by $10,000, which is probably only going to save you maybe $40, give or take. But if you buy down the interest rate, you could potentially save anywhere between $200 to $300 a month for the life of time that you have that loan. So I wanted to share that because a lot of people don't know about that. And it's very important. And then the other thing, you don't have to have perfect credit. A lot of people think you got to have 750, 800, 850 credit score, right? You don't have to have perfect credit. Yes, the better the credit, the better your interest rate. But here's what I can tell you. Everybody's scenario is different. You can't go by what your mom and them said, your uncle said, your cousin said, your friend said, because everybody's situation is different. We're looking at your credit. We're looking at how long you've been on your job. We're looking at your assets. Assets in the case of buying a house means money that you have in checking or savings, real estate, stocks, 401k, bonds. That's what assets is considered in the case of buying a house. We're looking at all of those things. And I think I said the length of how long you've been on your job as well, and how much you make, your income. So those things are important. Your debt to income is very important. So you don't have to have perfect credit. And just because you have a 620 or 630 doesn't mean that you're going to get a crappy interest rate, all right? That's not the case because, again, it just depends on so many different things. So wanted to put this out. I hope you guys share this live. I'm going to start going live more here on TikTok and put this information out. Again, I am a mortgage broker in the state of South Carolina. I'm accepting new clients. If you'd like to get in contact with me, check out the link in the bio. I also do hard money loans for investors. Check out the link in the bio. Check out my videos. I would love to be of service to you. And I'm going to figure this thing out because I'm not so sure about this live. So I don't think there are any questions. So yeah, if you would just share this live. And next time we go live, if you're on here, I would love it if you invite more people and I'll make sure my nose is clean. How about that? You guys.